The design of the program has dark blue night skies with stars, various planets, and spheres. With white text. The DAN Exposition Series, Horizons, a collection of staged music. Theological Hall, Rotunda Theatre, March 21st to March 25th, 2023. The DAN Exposition Series is a company centered around staged music. We breathe elements of theatre into music over months of workshopping collaboratively. Writing music is a special feat, and it's incredible to have pieces come to life on stage by the collaboration of so many artists with different perspectives to offer. This year, our team of 94 people is thrilled to give our staged music to the community, to invite a space for us all to reimagine music theatre and learn together. We are workshopping to infuse life into music, and we invite audiences to be a part of the workshop process as well. We have supported these pieces to have their first life, but many will continue to grow from this point on. Enjoy the show. Heart. We acknowledge that Queens is situated on traditional Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee territory. We are grateful to be able to live, learn, and play on these lands. To acknowledge this traditional territory is to recognize its longer history, one predating the establishment of the earliest European colonies. It is also to acknowledge this territory's significance for the Indigenous peoples who lived and continue to live upon it, and whose practices and spiritualities were tied to the land and continue to develop in relationship to the territory and its other inhabitants today. This all being said, territory acknowledgements are one small part of disrupting and dismantling colonial structures. You may also want to get in touch with local Indigenous nations or organizations to build relationships and support their work. We are grateful for your presence here today, but urge you to also seek out Indigenous art and theatre. Program. The piece is called I Guess, composed by Kaylee Simos. She's Gone is sung by the character Charlotte. Plot 3 Steps Ahead is sung by the character Noah and orchestrated by Mateo Ronderos. Maybe I'm Not Fine is sung by Quinn and co-written by Grace Delamere. Waiting for a Moment is sung by the characters Charlotte and Noah and orchestrated by Mateo Ronderos. Waiting for You is sung by the character Noah. She's Gone Reprise is sung by the character Charlotte. The piece is called A Journey Through the Seasons, composed by Cassie Forzani. The movement A Spring's Waltz has piano, cello, viola, and violin. The movement The Summer Solstice has piano, cello, and violin. The movement An Autumn Evening has piano, viola, and violin. The fourth movement, A Winter's Tale, has piano, cello, and viola. This piece is called Give It a Name, composed by Grace Delamere. Blood and Soul is performed by the character Athena. Addicted is performed by the character Aurora. Dear Annie is performed by Annie and Aurora. Different Colored Couches is performed by the character Aurora. Better Off is performed by Annie and Aurora. Addicted Reprise is performed by Athena. This piece is called Jason and the Astronauts, composed by Cameron McNeil. The overture is played by the band. Tragedy is sung by Peleus and Jason. Jason's Prayer is sung by Jason. The Sailing Montage is sung by Castor, Pollux, Jason, Orpheus, Hercules, Hylas, and Chorus. Medea's Lament is sung by Medea. The ending is played by the band. This piece is called I Guess. Writer and director, Annabelle Brophy. Writer, composer, and director, Kaylee Simos. Vocal director, Grace Delamere. Characters. Charlotte, played by Sabrina Marks. Noah, played by Cowie Garcia. Quinn, played by Elise White. Jack, played by Daniela Gokassian. Ensemble, played by Emma Smythe and Willow Hawkins. Writer-director's note. Have you ever heard the phrase, opposites attract? What do you get when you mix the strong with the weak? How about the generous and selfish? What about a film and drama major? Or even Annabelle and Kaylee? What kind of art does this produce? I guess you're about to find out. We are both passionate storytellers. We started with a simple idea and together transformed into what you are about to see, meshing our varied aesthetics and visions together. We both have very different experiences when it comes to performing. We are specialized in different areas, Kaylee in musical theater and Annabelle in performance coaching. Writing, directing, and creating together has allowed us to use our experiences to develop a show we are so immensely proud of. We'd like to thank everyone who worked on our show. This would not have been possible without your support and dedication. To our cast, thank you for bringing our characters to life. We appreciate everything you've done. And that's all, I guess. From Kaylee Simoes and Annabelle Brophy. On the page, there is a graphic of the planet Mars and the land that meets the sky with mountains, reading Geographic Horizon. This piece is called A Journey Through the Seasons. Composer, Cassie Forzani. Curator, Victoria J. Marmaluk. Piano, played by Safa Uzman. Cello, played by Massimo Amodio. Violin, played by Alex Puotinen. Viola, played by Ginny Yu. Head animator and designer, Kiran Ryu. Animator, Narakorn Rutanatizoy. Designer, Jackson Downer. Composer's note. A Journey Through the Seasons originally started off as 3 separate pieces that were completely unrelated to each other. Spring was a piano piece titled Spring's Waltz, written for Musk 151. Summer was a piano track for a friend's song that ended up getting rewritten called Sarah's Song. And Winter was merely a piano melody that I had stuck in my head and planned to save for future use. Through DAN Expo, I was able to completely reinvent these 3 pieces and write a brand new 4th one, which became Fall, and turned this simple idea into the incredible show you are about to see here today. From Cassie Forzani. On the page, there's a graphic of the planet Neptune and trees and mountains against a night sky, reading Local Horizon. This piece is called Give It a Name. Director, Adele Pagura. Writer, composer, and vocal director, Grace Delamere. Characters. Aurora, played by Kennedy Montanaro. Athena, played by Olivia Chevrier. Annie, played by Cam Valentine. Ivy and Parent, played by Avery Boucher. Director's note. Working on this show has shown me the importance of using the technical elements of theater to help build a scene to its fullest potential. Without the use of projections, an underwater sound effect, and a shrinking IQ spot, we would not be able to demonstrate an example of an experience that doesn't have many visible signs. I've loved working with everyone's different creative styles and watching the show come from a first draft of a script to almost a whole production. I say almost because this is still a workshop after all. From Adele Pagura. Writer's note. Give It a Name began before I even knew it had. I wrote different colored couches in the 11th grade about my struggle with mental illness and trying to be fine for everyone around me. Last year, I decided that this was a story I wanted to more thoroughly tell, and this show was born. Give It a Name is a journey of struggle and self-discovery, and it has been beautiful to watch it grow within the expo. I could not be more grateful for Adele Pagura, my lovely director who made my vision such a beautiful reality. To Kennedy, Olivia, Cam, and Avery, thank you so very much for being the most wonderful humans and for bringing these characters in my head to life. Heart. From Grace Delamere. On the page, there's a graphic of the moon and spherical lines and stars that signify the text that says True Horizon. This piece is called Jason and the Astronauts. Writer and director, Christian Pertia. Writer, Olivia Teddy. Composer and writer, Cameron McNeil. Director, Cassie Forzani. Characters, Jason, played by Danny Braun. Medea, played by Serena Fursley. Orpheus, played by Blake Little. Sovereign Peleus and Governor Aeetes, played by Yeshaya Allen. Castor, played by Sam Fearlot. Pollux, played by Joelle Bruyere. Hercules, played by Noah Solomon. Hylas, played by Thomas Cherney. Ensemble, played by Willow Hawkins and Emma Smythe. Writer's note. Jason and the Astronauts was born of several late-night Discord sessions and a half-drunken dinner between myself, Cameron, and Chris 2 summers ago. Since then, we have been so lucky to bring our work to life with the DAN Expo and have had our wonderful co-director Cassie and our incredible cast and crew sign on. Jason and the Astronauts is an energetic, swashbuckling Greek mythology-inspired adventure through the stars, and our answer to the question: what happens artistically when our society starts exploring space? What goes wrong? Thanks everyone for believing in this silly little project that we all put a lot of heart into. From Olivia Teddy. Composer's note. Working on Jason and the Astronauts has been an absolute pleasure. Its creation embodies the very thing that first drew me into theater, getting to tell silly, wonderful stories with equally silly, wonderful people. I hope you enjoy our performance of such a classic Greek epic poem now spun anew. Thank you for being here. From Cameron McNeil. Writer and director's note. 2 years ago, 2 friends in a late-night Discord call stuck in their homes had a hell of a thought. When we finally travel the stars freely, will people sing space shanties like people sung sea shanties on our oceans? Who could have guessed that the hours spent laughing about that possibility that night would blossom the show you see before you? Jason and the Astronauts is something that could only have come from the minds of students sitting stir-crazy in their homes during the height of the pandemic, and I hope to share the results of hours spent laughing, crying, and sometimes even bleeding over this project. Special thanks to Olivia and Cameron. We did it. From Christian Pertia. Director's note. I joined the Jason and the Astronauts team when Chris had expressed needing help with directing the show. Having only directed 1 short film before, Today's the Day, I thought this to be a great opportunity to put my director skills to the test and help bring an amazingly hilarious yet tragic show to life. From Cassie Forzani. On the page, there are graphics of the planet Venus and stars with a spherical, astronomical horizon. Production team. Production manager and producer, Grace Delamere. Producer and dramaturge, Victoria J. Marmelock. Technical director, Sophie Bukowski. Stage managers, Brianna Y. and Laura Smith. Assistant production manager, Janelle Ruffin. Assistant technical director, Robert Hertz. Music editor, Freddie Baker. Band director, Matteo Ronderos. Conductors, Stephanie Swindells and Grace Delamere. Assistant stage managers, Maya Pajata, Shira Greenstein, and Justin Dubuc. Choreographers, Annabelle Brophy and Emily Williams. Lighting designer, Gerald Lee. Live sound designer and mixer, Abby Boatwright. Audio 2, Skylar James. Sound designer FX, Kathleen Greening. Projection designer, Amina Najib. Head of Hair and Makeup, Ireland Hubers. Hair and Makeup Crew, Kaylin Grassi. Head of Costumes and Designer, Elliot Norman. Costume Crew and Designers, Aidan Robert Bruce and Hunter Wolf. Front of House Manager and Accessibility, Emily Breitman. Front of House Assistant and Accessibility, Giselle Castillos. Photographer, Olivia Wiley. Props and Set, Jonas Jacobson and Kalani Mugabe. Head of Marketing, Liz Perrine. Graphic Designer, Dominique Delben. Videographers and Editors, Griffin Penny, Rochelle Kai, and Juan Huerta. Lighting Operator, Sarah Watt. Sound Operator, Durgis Al-Shama. Captions Operator, Alex Wilson. Tech Crew and Usher, Kendra Johnston. Musicians. Pianists, Safa Uzman, Yilan Pang, and Yurin Jia. Alto sax, Brian Tang Poi. Clarinet, Nicole Shipton. Flute, Serena James. Violin, Alex Puotinen. Viola, Ginny Yu. Cello, Massimo Amodio. Trumpet, Andrew Parsh. Trombone, Madison Burke. Acoustic guitar, Michael Filomene. Bass guitar, Ren Cheng-yu. Percussionist, Haruka Matsura. Horizons. Horizons are all-encompassing. They are what we are able to see with our feet on the ground, the land that touches the sky, or the ocean all around the earth. They're also the celestial planes that are used to attempt to understand what is beyond this world. They are all-encompassing. All of the staged music in DAN Expo Horizons moves beyond what we know and attempts to understand the unimaginable. These pieces make our heads spin while keeping us grounded in this planet. Next to a graphic of the planet Mars, I guess, Mars represents action, passion, sex, desire, aggression, and conflict. Polarization. Next to the planet Neptune, a journey through the seasons. Neptune is the planet of magic, fantasy, dreams, art, illusion, and escapism. Romanticization is natural. Next to the moon, give it a name. The moon fosters emotion, habits, the unconscious, memories, femininity, domesticity, and intuition. Aurora trusts. Next to Venus, Jason and the astronauts. Venus symbolizes love, attraction, profit, harmony, relationships, and pleasure. Can Jason handle it all? Something's wrong with Eris and a QR code. In other amazing news, the DAN Exposition Series is presenting another show next week. Something's Wrong with Eris is a 2-act original musical presented as a workshop performance. The performance runs approximately 120 minutes with a 15-minute long intermission. Written, composed, and directed by Elsa McKnight, with music direction by Darcy Watson-Laird. We have shows March 29th to 31st at 7 p.m. and April 1st at 2 p.m. Scan the QR code above for tickets. Video stream and a QR code. Want to see the show again but don't have time to come back in person? Well, we will have a stream from April 10th to 17th of a professionally recorded version of our shows. It's only $5 to be sent the link for access, $8 for access to both the series and Something's Wrong with Eris videos. Scan the QR code above for tickets. Special thanks to Brian Fromer and Adair Reedish for all your help, support, and jokes along the way. Thank you to Dean Berry for sharing your musical and compositional expertise. Thank you to Graham Rennick, Daryl Christie, and Tim Fort for supporting us throughout the process. Thank you to our team for all the incredible work you have put into this show. We could not have asked for a more lovely and supportive group of people to bring this music to life. Heart. Back of program, our Instagram, @DAN Exposition Series. Our Linktree, linktree.danexpo. Our email, danexpo@queensu.ca. End of program.